Hey everybody, this is Kohdok here, and today I'm going to talk about the Bakugan show. Let me tell you, I actually really liked the first season of Bakugan as it dealt with a lot of things like temptation and anger and sportsmanship tied together with a pretty good story. I'll also be honest and say I don't like New Vestroia as much because it lacks a lot of what the original show had and is really repetitive. In fact, with all the Gundalian stuff happening in it, I think the writers are as fed up with New Vestroia too and just want to move on. Anyway, naturally I have some issues with the anime that I feel need addressing. It's to pound out the weakness so that the show is better in the future. So, without further ado, here are my top 5 beefs with the anime. Number 5. It's never followed the rules. Now, I know this is a rather generic complaint, and I also know the first season obeyed the Japanese rules, which is why this one is the lowest on my list. But New Vestroia sort of went off into La La Land as far as rules were concerned. While it might work with the story, it makes it more difficult to grasp for children watching the show who then turn around and try to play the game, especially on the internet. I say that there should be a series or maybe a spin-off that actually obeys the rules correctly. It can still be made exciting. Yu-Gi-Oh! Did it for the longest time once it got the rules right. It took them 2 seasons, but now they stick to the formula. Bakugan should do the same. Number 4. The guy-to-girl ratio in New Vestroia. There's a trope out there called the chick, which says that in a standard group of action people there tends to be only one girl in an attempt to appeal to possible girl fans. I liked the original series because it defied that trope, having a 50-50 split between the genders for the 6 main characters. Then came New Vestroia and the rest is history. What's worse is that it looks like they're going to continue this trend with Gundalian invaders, and unless they pull an Ingram, there won't be a single female Bakugan. Why do I call it an Ingram and not a Tigrera? Because at least Tigrera stayed consistent in between seasons. Number 3. King Zenoheld is a big, fat idiot. I mean, really? We're supposed to believe that this guy can run a kingdom? He probably can't even run a microwave without a royal decree. Okay, so this guy wants to grab all the attribute energy on revenge and ruin a universe! Why he didn't dump his entire army on Marucho's doorstep to snatch the brawlers, and instead of that only sent 1 or 2 of his goons after them at a time is just stupid planning. And to make matters worse, watch this! Father, you should form a Sail Farbros and totally wipe the floor with them! No, I have a better idea. Really? What is it? Watch! I'm a genius! And Mylene took the words right out of my mouth after that incident.
We're just gonna let them go?
His son isn't so bright either. If he's had those portable black holes the entire time, why didn't he use them on the brawlers? Be consistent! Ah! Number 2. The English dubbing of original series episode 12. It's interesting that one of my biggest complaints comes from the series I actually liked. The problem, Shun's mother dies in the Japanese one, but in the English dub they sort of shove it under the rug by saying she's gonna be okay, and Shun's real reason for bugging out is that his grandpa is gonna be an oppressive guardian? What? No! With that little contrivance, an extremely powerful and touching episode becomes totally undercut and worthless. The reason Shun stalled his match with Dan is that as long as time was stopped, his mother would still be alive. As for why they did it, I think Nostalgia Critic can put it better than I can.
It's like we can't let reality sink in too deep, so here's some pretty birdies! Ooh, look at the birdies! Look at the birdies! Nobody's dead! Nobody's dead! They're just birdies! Birdies! You still sad? You still sad? Oh, look at the keys! Look at the keys! Look at the keys! Look at the keys!
It just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, we can have a guy get totally blown away by the end of the century beam into outer space, and we can't have some guy's mom die in the hospital? And this had a resonating effect as well, and made the episode with Oberus have less impact. The death of Shun's mother made Oberus' episode that much more powerful as well, as Oberus tore at Shun's conviction by offering him something he couldn't obtain any other way. Time with his mother. I mean, it's one thing to kind of cover something up, but when it's an essential plot point, such as this, it just doesn't work, and people will notice it. Now, I haven't had the chance to compare Japan's New Vestroia because it's still coming out, but it looks like the English one is at least taking its audience a little more seriously. And you can bet I will make that comparison later. And the number 1 beef I have with the anime is... showing off Bakugan in the show will never get in real life. Now this one is another common complaint, but I put it in the number 1 spot because to me this is one of the biggest reasons I feel that Bakugan isn't living up to its potential. A big purpose of the show is to sell the product, but when you show off something that we'll never be able to buy, it's disheartening. Sure, skipping incidental Bakugan from one episode is one thing, but skipping the main characters is like skipping Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon or Stardust Dragon. It's inexcusable! A representative at Bakugan asked me, why should we go back and make the Bakugan we skipped while we're looking into the future? Well, here's my answer, Mr. Representative, because it's what the people want! We feel let down when you skip Bakugan, and even if they're late, we won't be angry! We will forgive you! People want to buy Cross Dragonoids and Minx Elfins and Rebeaters, so just make them already! The longer you stall on this, the worse you'll look. It's a truckload of wasted opportunities. Get your heads in the game, Spin Master. You're in serious business now. And that's my top 5 beefs with the anime. Everything said, it's not too bad, but we all agree it could be a lot better. And Spin Master, a lot of us fans are pretty jaded, but we like Bakugan too much to really leave it, but feel that it isn't living up to its potential. It's really up to you guys to take this franchise seriously and make the more die-hard fans feel appreciated. It's a good series, so don't squander it. Anyway, this is Kohdok, signing off.